administrative boxes while the final 8 seconds on the clock tick down before we
You just checked on me.
trust but verify. All right, Ruth, are we all set to go? Wonderful. Well, it's 7 o'clock. I will call this meeting to order. Ruth, will you take roll, please?
Andy Hirschfeld.
Here.
Michael Lloyd.
Here.
Rob Luda.
Here.
Cindy Messina.
Here.
Martin.
Here. All right. First thing on the agenda, I would like to approve the minutes from our most recent meeting, which was held on November 6th. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Any questions, comments, edits, or changes?
No. Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, then I make a motion to approve the November 6th meeting minutes as is. Can I get a second?
Second.
Ruth?
Andy Hitchcock.
Yes.
Michael Lloyd.
Yes.
Rob Luda.
Yes.
Cindy Messina.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
All right. We have one agenda item on the meeting tonight. Before we get to that, would like to swear in our visitors. Jared, would you please swear in anyone who's giving testimony?
Sure. If you could stand and raise your right hand if you're going to give testimony tonight. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
All right. So, our agenda item this evening, BZA case number 26-01. It's for an area variance and a side yard variance for the property located at 83 Maple Hill Drive. Ms. Partain? We've seen the application and kind of read the plan. If you could just give us a brief overview of what you're trying to accomplish, we'll have some questions for you, I'm sure. But why don't we start there?
Excuse me, can I interrupt? John?
Yes,
your
sir.
term ended. Did we talk?
Yes,
Okay.
I accept it.
I'm sorry, Jerry, I need to swear him in.
Then we're going to pause this for a second and make sure we have a full board here.
I knew I should have worn my tuxedo.
Sorry about this.
I assume I stand up.
Well, we go up front, please. People's terms end, I think, you guys are 3 years? I don't recall right now, 3 or 4?
4.
But I think, yeah, your term ended at the end of the month. Okay. Repeat after me. I, John Buda,
I, John Duda,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Board of Zoning Appeals Member
Board of Zoning Appeals Member
in the Village of South Russell
in the Village of South Russell
in Geauga County, Ohio.
in Geauga County, Ohio.
Thank you. Congratulations. I'll have you sign this right
Of course.
There you go.
here. Yes, it's true line.
One less to worry about.
Well, we can't have him voting if he's not a
Yeah.
certified member. The lawsuits to follow.
Stuff.
All right. Well, after that excitement, would you like to give us a little bit of background on your project? We'll have some questions for you, but we'll just start with what you're trying to accomplish.
Sure. We're just trying to make our property nicer. So the existing building is old. So we want to tear it down and put another structure on the same spot, but just, it'll be the same width, but just a little bit shorter and like that. Going through the property. So it'll be a little smaller footprint, but just for storage and that's about it.
Perfect. I've got a couple questions for you. I'm sure the board will have some additional questions. Is there a homeowners association in Maple Hill?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's easy. Do you know what the existing square footage is of the building? What I'm driving at is what's the size difference between what you have today versus what you're going to attempt to put up tomorrow?
Is it okay if I call my husband?
Perfectly fine.
It's probably more valid coming from her, but I talked with her husband about it and I stepped it off. So if you're willing to accept
I don't know, like, anything. He told me I was supposed to come. and-
Fair. John, I think, so Jared, I think we can accept conversations from board members
You can.
as sworn testimony.
Was it in the application?
It's not in the application because the application only includes what's going to be new, not what was already pre-existing.
And I would just say just for the record, if your husband's available and he would have that information, if you could call him and get that information, I think it would be helpful, just so we have a complete record. Since her testimony was sworn in.
Sure.
Do you want the existing square footage of what we have right now? Just looking it up. You said it's a little over 1,008.
1,008. All right. Perfect. Close enough is
Okay.
what we're going for. All right. So where we stand, at least by my math, is a request for 1,220 square feet where 1,008 exists today. So a difference of a little over 200 square feet new, I guess, accessory structure size. So that was one question. The other question, aside from the letter we received from, I think, your next door neighbor at 87, if memory serves, have you heard any comments, positive or negative, from other people in the neighborhood nearby to you?
No one's responded or reached out to us.
Perfect. Thank you. Members of the board, questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I do, if that's okay.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I'm Marty O'Toole. Hi,
Yeah.
nice to see you. So can you tell us a little bit about the history of the property and the structure? My guess is I'm guessing you didn't build that shed, right?
No, we moved in 20 years ago, and there was the Zells that lived there before us, and they owned a sprinkler business, and so they used that building for their business.
Do we know, thank you, maybe this is a Dave Hosevar question. Do we know, was this built with variances once upon a time? Because it is extraordinary, which I mean to say it is out of the ordinary. And do we know, was it built with variances once upon a time?
It was not.
So it's
It's
been,
just, it's
It's
been, Academy just built it in.
okay, so it's been
Permits.
living out of code for a while. Maybe it was there before the codes, perhaps, I don't know. Okay, so what we have here is replacing something that is not just a little bit, but significantly out of code. Okay, good. And are you aware that it is, like, really, it's significantly different?
Well, I don't really know the codes, but I know it's an unusual structure.
Yeah.
It looks like they did a couple additions on the back. You think so? It was built in the 70s.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good. So you inherited it, but it was built without permits or zoning back in the day. Okay, thank you. So this thing we're seeking to replace exists outside of the standard. Okay, thank you.
John?
Well, given consideration that it is extraordinary, and given that the new structure square footage is less than the combined square footage of all the structures that are currently there, why the request for a structure the size that you're asking for?
You wanna ask, why are we making it smaller?
I'm sorry, why are you making it as large as you?
Oh, it's large, we use it for storage. That's it.
It's gonna be for like indoor or outdoor kind of entertainment.
We might open like the door and stuff, but we have a boat, we keep a boat in there. Keep some workout equipment, like, you know, like weights and stuff. We have a kayak, and a motorboat, so. You know, lawnmower, snow blower, which I've used a lot this year.
Mhm.
Nowhere to keep that stuff in my garage.
We wanna tie it into the existing. Just make it look nicer also.
Yeah, we want to make it look, just the yard look nicer. We tried to put some like really tall, it's just not that pretty of a building. We tried to put some like really tall bushes. You know, we had our landscaping redone in the back, but it's still kind of an eyesore. So we're just trying to make it nicer.
Appreciate that. Cindy?
I have a question. I'm looking at the plans and I'm trying to figure out what this attachment is between the building and to the house. It looks like you're putting some kind of,
Just an awning.
so it will be like a walkway, covered walkway that you're putting
So
there.
we can put like a table there, you know, like seating.
So it'll be fairly wide, the attachment between this structure to the house then is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm just seeing here, I don't understand what it is. When I look at the garage,
Yeah.
It's a
covered
Yeah.
canopy.
is it a
Covered,
canopy?
yeah.
You think that, yeah. I just didn't know how large it was gonna be because it says it's a beam. It doesn't say that it's like a canopy. So I was curious.
It is two.
Yeah.
It is,
Oh, I think that you were asking about the size of the canopy, is that correct?
Yes,
Right now,
Real quick,
the
and
drawings are.
can you ask him to just stop?
12 feet off the building.
Hold on.
It's gonna
Sorry, go ahead.
just because for him to testify, he has to be here and has to be sworn in.
Okay.
So if he wants to communicate it to you to testify,
Okay.
just so we keep a clean record, sorry.
You can always tell me when I have to tell them. Just for that.
so that's that actual canopy then.
yeah, and so it's, based on this design, it's open air underneath it. So there's, there's the 4x4 posts.
Right,
And it's just covering the patio.
okay, that's what I just wasn't sure. When I looked from the side view, I wasn't sure what was going on with the attachment.
Cindy, the square footage is 260 square feet for the canopy.
Thanks.
It's in the.
Yeah, I think it was in here.
Other questions from the board? Mike, anything? Comments?
Just confirming, it doesn't show here the actual height of the structure, but just confirming that two would not need a variance that is below 15 feet.
It is at 15 feet, I believe, in the application.
Yeah, I think it does say 15.
So we don't need a height variance.
Mhm.
Existing is 15, proposed is 15, and that's to code.
Sorry.
Another question. Does it have to be that big?
He wants to know if it has to be that big. Right now we have it pretty full with our boat in there. We're trying to keep the motorboat, covered. And if you walked in, it's pretty packed in there. We put our lawn furniture in there for the winter. So we'd like to keep it that size.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering between the need and the want.
Yeah.
So, because a 20 by 24 square foot, a 20 by 24 foot two-car garage, it's 480 square feet, which is half the size. But anyway, I'm just trying to put things in perspective.
Clarity. Any other questions or comments for our applicant?
Yeah, let me just, my
Please.
husband did say like part of the square foot variance that's being applied is for the canopy, not the actual structure.
Right.
Well, yeah, question, please. In the event that you don't get the variances that you're seeking tonight, is an option for you all as a household to simply keep it there for a little while longer? Or is it in such a condition of age or disrepair that it really needs to go? Or do you have the option of just keeping it if you don't get the variances you want?
But yeah, we need a structure to store stuff, so we'll have to keep it.
It's not an imminent danger of falling down is the question.
No,
Okay. Any other comments, questions from the audience? We have a guest here. Please, if you can introduce yourself, please.
Jamie Snell, we live immediately to the west of their property on Silver Springs Trail.
Okay.
And the people to the north and the people to the south of me, we have but one concern.
Okay.
That's runoff. We get, oh my God, from Maple Hill, which we've kind of done. I've done a lot of rock gardens and funnel all the water in one place, and there's a huge French drain. And our concern is the less, they're putting in a patio and the awning and everything else, so there's even less soil to absorb and a lot more water run. And that's the only thing that we want to say. We want that to be a consideration, however they handle it.
Sure.
We've got no problem with the structure. I'm curious, like everybody else, why the adjustments need to be made and all that kind of fun stuff. I get having outdoor space. I get it, and I've watched the things that they've done. And our only consideration is all of a sudden we're going to get however many more square feet of runoff that we're already inundating. Coming out of my property, I put stone gardens and everything in and channeled all the water to about a 6-foot run. And there are times when that is over a foot deep and rushing that I've got number 3 gravel that just goes away. So that would be the only thing that we want. And I don't know, what can be done from that standpoint.
Could you explain, John, I think you went out, I know I went out to visit the property, Cindy did.
I did also.
I didn't pay attention to, as I'm looking at the property toward the backyard, which then would be your backyard backing up to it. I didn't pay that much attention to it. Are there woods there? Is there a
Yes.
ravine? Like what is that like?
There's old growth Norway spruce, and I don't know how many feet, but significant.
Okay.
And then I've probably got another 30 yards, 40 yards of hardwood. But the slope is significant, and because of the way things come in, I've got 3 actual beds, river beds,
Mhm.
and when it rains, it comes.
Okay.
And the same thing is, I get it from 3 different properties, but my neighbor to the north, the Nelsons, it all goes there. And there are times when we get heavy rains, they actually live on an island, because it's coming from one more house to the north and my house, and it just comes in, and that French drain is 6 feet down. I mean, so, and it's, oh boy. So that's the only thing, and again, I don't know, I created contours so that I can keep it flowing in one particular direction.
Right.
But and it's just the nature of the beast, always has been. So we're just concerned that with this much more hard surface, we're gonna deal with even more.
Sure. So the general topography is from the Partain's house in a downward slope to Silver Spring?
Yeah, so
So basically a one-way with nothing but woods in between,
right.
not a swale, not a ravine, anything like that.
Well, once
Other
it hits
than-
our property, yes, because we created them.
Okay,
But from their property, they're actually, if you go back to the woods and look,
Yeah.
there's actually a riverbed that's most of the times dry, but when it rains, they're full, and they're 2 feet deep.
Let's go down there.
appreciate that. John?
Ms. Partain, at the back of the current structure, it looks like there are a number of additions. Will those be removed when the new structure is put up?
Yes.
So the existing big structure plus the two additional smaller structures immediately behind will be replaced by the proposed structure. So there'll be just one. I can point it out on. It's on the other one. It's on the.
It's on the,
Okay, keep going down then. Okay, there you go.
there it is. It's in this one.
So this whole thing
Yeah.
is going to be replaced by, now scroll.
Well, do you see, wait, go back.
Okay.
So the little, if you go down, so the end right there, like that, like where her little like mouse is, like that's not gonna be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But the large square is, and I'm not, I do,
Is the new footprint.
yeah.
Right. So when I walked off the length, stepped off the length and the width, I came up with roughly 24-foot width, same as the proposed, and like 48 feet long. So I came up with almost 1,200 square feet of roofed structure.
Of existing roofed structure.
Right.
Okay.
And the proposal, 960 square feet for the building plus 260 square feet for the canopy is a shade over 1,200. So it's roughly the same coverage of property.
Right.
So it's not a large increase in the amount of ground that's going to be covered from.
But then there's gonna be a stone patio.
Yeah, that is not under.
That's not within our
That's
our jurisdiction.
That's not.
So essentially, she could increase the size of her patio for a larger impervious, surface area, and nobody could say anything about it. So I think that what we're saying is, we can't deny one plan based off of concern of another. Not to dismiss your concern.
One other question, Ms. Partain. How do you plan to address the gutters? Are those going to go from a downspout out into the backyard? Is there a storm drain, a sewer, something? I don't know how they are today, but if part of the new construction is the gutters, presumably you'll have them, are those directed differently to perhaps mitigate the current rainwater situation that's your neighbors could be facing?
Well,
Yeah, I'm listening.
while she's listening and asking, this shows gutters, but it doesn't show downspouts.
Correct.
To your point.
It's not detailed, and I would add that if whatever decision that'd be a contingent upon that be included in the detail.
I don't know what the sewer situation is.
I would say a design of a French drain that some kind.
We currently have an underground French drain, like to the south of the barn,
Okay,
towards like, the middle of our yard, and that's where the gutters will be reattached.
okay, so the downspouts will run it
Yeah,
underground.
yeah,
Okay. Do you know how it's addressed today?
how's it addressed today? Are they connected to the, is it right now, is it connected to the, French drain? He's not sure right now.
Okay.
I would think this is-
Like, just reading through the details.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think it probably just
Wish I
reads
had
out.
taken photographs.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Other comments from our visitors?
Yeah, the only thing about the drainage is to say, I don't believe Maple Hill has storm drains. So where does that French drain, like ours, in the Nelson's yard, is tied into the storm drain? That's my only question.
Yeah.
Because if it just goes to
The backyard.
Never, I'm not real sure.
Right.
That's, so however it's addressed, I just want to make sure that we're aware of that.
Yeah.
Because we'll handle whatever we handle, and I don't.
Yeah.
Want to belabor that.
That's fair. So Mike, you made a comment about a potential contingency for
Yeah, so
stormwater.
I would, and I haven't read through all of the details, so for example, number 11 on the foundation detail of the plan, drainage fill shall be washed uniformly graded mixture of crushed stone, and it calls out the size of the gravel, the total percentage of passing. So I would say that, and I apologize, I haven't read this close enough, but I would suggest that the contingencies state that the calculation of surface area the French drain, the architect would be able to specify the correct language. So based on the surface area of the roof and canopy, you will have X, gallons or inches of water, volume of water, and then they will be able to calculate the size of a French drain. So to answer his question, they would excavate soil and replace it with rock, which would be more pervious. And so over time or area, it would drain into the earth. Whereas the grass is not as impervious, so the flow of water just continues to rush. So if it's written the right way, they would have to design a French drain adequately sized based on the surface area of the roof to handle that amount of volume. Sorry, that's not as clear as it should be. But
Enough for me to.
and maybe Dave, I don't know if do we vote on it? Do we have them? I don't know, but are you involved in that in terms of a permit? Like,
How do we enforce it? Maybe
how do we enforce it? Yes.
if we make it subject to.
If we can't push water to another person's property.
We're not,
So if the applicant wanted to submit some sort of a site plan, I could get it to our engineer for approval. I mean, if you want to make that part of this, that's okay too. It's a big building. But you could draw up some type of contour, show the site plan, how he's going to get rid of the water, and get it over to our engineer for approval.
So then maybe the condition is subject to the village engineer's review and approval of the plans, rather than the detail of how it's going to be done.
For water mitigation and absorption.
Yeah, I don't think we need them to weigh in on the other parts of the plan. I think it's really
Correct.
specifically
Yeah,
the
seems
water.
very.
Okay,
Getting past the water, can I open it up to a little bit of discussion, please? For me, this is a difficult proposal because I think that if this structure didn't already exist and it came here asking to build what you're asking to build, I think it would have a very hard time getting approval to say, in this community, on this street, we want to build 1,000 square foot barn, which is really not typical at all for that street or for those homes in that area. And we want to put it, far forward on the property line, so it's not snugged back, in the backyard part if you're a 1 acre property. It's far forward, close to the house, and it wants to be, well over the setback. And so we want to build 1,000 square foot barn well over the setback, up close to the house, where it is visually dominant from the street. And the reason we want to do this is because we have a boat, and we have another boat, and we have all the things we want to put in there. And we've had instances where other applicants have come in here with very similar logic, saying, well, I have a wood shop and I keep a fire truck and I have all these things that are important to me, and therefore I want to build my barn, right? And in those instances, it was like, well, the possessions aren't the tail that wags the dog to say, so now we're going to do something that is very much out of character with the community and is significantly outside of the zoning. But now we've got an instance where you've been living there like this for 20 years, right? And so, but if it came to us right now, I think it'd have my perspective is they'd have a very hard time passing this board. So I just wanted to say that's what I was thinking and put it out there for some dialogue.
I feel for the homeowners with what they already have and already stored. And I guess where I'm going with this is I have more concern about the size of the structure than I do with the location of the structure on the property. So I'll just say that up front. And it's a big building. It's a big building. And so therefore I hear in concert what Marty is saying, and that's my concern as well.
When I went and saw it, my experience is just as a citizen, when I went and saw it, I was driving up the street. I'm just looking around and check out the properties, and I would get shed. Oh my goodness, this is something different. Right. Shed, barn, right? And so it's really a significantly different thing. And so I'm weighing this as if this was coming to us afresh. How would we look at it? And I don't think it would be favorable. So I'm just putting it out there for dialogue.
I agree with you, Marty. I agree with John. I don't know that I would agree, the size of it, because when you pull up, you see, that's the first thing you see. I'm sorry, I didn't even really notice your house. The first thing I saw was a barn. It drew my attention to that more than it did to your home. And I'm sure you have a lovely, backyard, but looking at it and walking down the side of it, I was quite taken with the size of it also.
My 2 cents, it's, however the problem was created, it was not of the current homeowner.
Right.
And, even if we might not approve it as a brand new building today, I also think that the challenge or I'll say the problem, isn't getting any worse, really, in the grand scheme of things. Aesthetically, it should provide a return on investment, or at least that's the hope. But it improves the aesthetics. It is out of a barn, if that's what we're going to call it, is certainly out of character with the neighborhood, but it's existing. And so that's where I guess I step back and say, well, is this going to be worse? Do people have a problem with it? And start to think through some of those other things where, as of today, it could stand and, look ugly for generations to come. And I think they're trying to do the right thing to improve the look.
If the ask is, we want to replace our barn with a nicer barn.
Right.
Is the ask, right? So regardless, but the fact is there's a barn there.
And if they never made the request for the variance if they didn't want a new structure, I probably would never, I don't visit that particular street, and as has been stated, there's been, regarding the structure itself, there's been no negative comment from other neighbors with regards to replacing it, so.
If I might speak against the neighbors who look at it, we got no problem with it. There are significant trees and everything else. When I first read this, I thought, oh, the cats are looking for a variance for the backyard. Is this going to be sitting,
Right.
And it's not. And we don't have the problem with the visual from our standpoint.
Do you see it?
Pardon me?
Do you see it?
Not a lot.
Okay.
You know, because like I said, they're good size spruce.
Yeah.
Between us, and then I've got all of the maples as well.
Okay.
It was, you know, like I said, we don't, you know, I don't look back and go, oh my God, no, we don't do that at all. It's just what's gonna happen with the new structure and all the other kind of stuff we want.
Okay.
If we do this though, we are also setting, if we approve this, we're also approving precedent in this neighborhood. So if the neighbor 2 doors down comes and says,
I don't agree.
you don't agree?
I don't agree.
Because there's an existing structure and we handle every case as, you know, as its own case. I don't believe we are setting precedent.
I think someone would bring it to our attention and say, you just approved it for them, but I would look at it, like Mike said, as a separate situation. It would stand on its own merits.
It would be a non-conforming structure. And Dave, do we have a history of when this outbuilding or this building was originally?
No, nothing.
Nothing,
Nothing.
couldn't find anything. There was no variances.
Yeah.
So likely it predated zoning.
Yeah, back when we built it, I mean, there was zoning, I mean, there was zoning, but,
Lightly enforced.
yeah. Because we used it for commercial business, actually.
Yeah.
You know, we should have first built it. But it would have never been permitted.
Other comments from the board? I think I'm satisfied with the information I have. John?
Can I ask a question of?
Please.
Ms. Partain, can you remind us, can you give us a vision of like what the color is going to be and how it's going to look from a, because the current building is faded white.
Oh, it's gonna be the same color as our house. White.
Okay, sorry, but I didn't really look at the house so much. I was looking at the
We just have
structure.
white siding, so,
Okay, so it's going to be white, the front is going to be front of the building, but the garage door is going to be white.
I mean, I haven't picked up the garage door, but I was hoping that it would be white, just so it
Okay.
blends in with the house a little bit. I don't know.
And the roofing,
I know, I'm not sure. Do you know what the roofing is?
color?
We will be setting this ABR.
Okay.
Oh,
We're excited
okay,
to go.
all right, but I'm still curious.
The main roof will match our roof, and the canopy is gonna be like metal.
And what color is your roof?
Is it brown? Is that the roof brown? Is it a brown or tan?
Okay. So it'll a match. And the
Yeah.
intent is to match.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we have 2 requests in front of us. We will vote on them separately. So they are distinct requests. So I will make a motion for BZA case number 26-01 for the property located at 83 Maple Hill Drive. I make a motion to approve a side yard variance of 10 feet to permit an accessory structure no closer than 10 feet to the property line, subject to the village engineer's review and approval of a site plan for water mitigation along with ABR approval. Questions? Thoughts? Okay. Can I get a second?
Oh, okay, John. I'll second it.
You're the second tonight. Ruth, would you take roll, please?
Andy Hitchcock?
Yes.
Mike Malloy?
Yes.
John Buda?
Yes.
Cindy Matejka?
Yes.
Marty Hitchcock?
Yes.
All right. For the second motion, for BZA case number 26-01 for the property located at 83 Maple Hill Drive, I make a motion to approve an area variance of 720 square feet to permit an accessory structure of 960 square feet with a 260 square foot canopy, subject to the village engineer's review and approval of a site plan for water mitigation and ABR approval.
Second.
Comments,
Sorry.
questions
You just wanted to do.
that you wanted to get on the record? All right. We have a second and no comments. Ruth, would you take
Andy
roll?
Hitchcock,
Yes.
Mike Malloy,
Yes.
John Buda,
Yes.
Cindy Vatazia.
Yes,
Mark Archibald.
Yes.
Good luck with your project. Appreciate you coming in.
it is a big project.
Yep.
But they
All right.
They put a nice structure in it.
So, that was item number 1,
Okay.
and we have no item number 2. I don't have any new or old business. So with that, it is 7:40, and we will call this meeting to adjourn.
I second that.
Just wanted to get on the record. Good job, Mike.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
job, Cindy.
Yeah, John
Forget
just
that.
voted.
I defer. All right, good discussion, people.
Yep.
I was curious